What is the most unforgivable thing your parents have ever done to you? I was always a bright student, a topper in school and a master of oral presentations. While in college, I met and fell in love with a man from a different state. Though it was not a huge difference like a north-south problem, it was huge for my parents who only had negative things to say about his community. The fact that he still needed time to settle only made him incompatible in my parents' eyes. They believed that I was their golden girl with too much talent to be given away as his wife. We fought for 2 years, during which my mom stopped all communication with me. Finally, my parents weren't willing to wait until after I turned 25, as they believed that I would become too old to be desirable by good guys. They adopted all forms of emotional abuse and manipulation and broke us apart. I still cry to this day thinking about our breakup, though it has been 8 years. I loved him and still do. If only we had remained together. At about the same time, I wanted to change careers and become a teacher, leaving my high-paying job, but my parents thought that only a fool would make that mistake. They prohibited me from doing what I liked and made me look after my dad's company, though I hated it. They believed that they were doing everything to protect my interests but never cared for my own feelings. I was too weak and timid to rebel, and so I bore everything while breaking down mentally. After this forced separation and being made to look after the company, I was put through the humiliating arranged marriage market, where I was paraded around like a commodity. I hated every minute of it. Finally, I was married off to this man who was good on paper. He came from a wealthy family, had 2 degrees from the most prestigious universities, and was settled in my own city. My parents couldn't believe their luck, and when all inquiries about him and his family didn't turn up anything bad, they went ahead with it. All through this debacle, I was only a mute spectator. What my parents did not know was, my husband was an egoist and a sadist. He had to be the best in everything and took joy in humiliating me and belittling my achievements. He was always fishing for compliments, without which he couldn't function. He could never take any form of criticism and would throw temper tantrums if things aren't done his way. Even intimacy was a form of punishment for me, where I was forced to do things I did not want and he would humiliate me. Every day and every night used to be the same. I put up with this for 2 years before letting anyone know, because I foolishly thought that I did not deserve any happiness after breaking my boyfriend's heart. To the outside world, I couldn't have been happier. I had my dad's company, which was printing money, and I did not have to work hard unlike people who start things from scratch. I had a husband who was very handsome, earned indecent amounts of money, came from a good family background, and was even religious. But inside closed doors, I was living a nightmare. The traditional traits looked for in arranged marriages, wealth, education, family background, and age were all perfect in mine, but take it from me that none of these things matter more than an extent. It is only the love you share with the other person and your emotional compatibility and willingness to stand by them that counts. This realization hit me like a wall of bricks when one day, after a particularly nasty argument with my now ex-husband, I took my car for a drive. It was raining heavily, and while I was waiting at a traffic signal, I saw a poor man on the pavement sharing a torn canvas cloth with his small family. They were laughing and were very happy with each other. Looking at this from my air-conditioned luxury car, I realized that they had something that I did not: love and happiness. The divorce was painful, and I did not have many people's support. Only my brother and father supported me. It has been 4 years since the divorce. Meanwhile, the boyfriend whom I broke up with went on to become successful and started his own consulting company, which is doing extremely well. He got married 2 years after I got married, when he still thought that I was happy. He called me before they finalized the girl, asking me how I am and that he is getting married. He told me that he always wishes the best for me. I knew he also loved me the same way I loved him. After that, we did not speak because it would be too painful. It is not always true that parents love you the most. Sure, they wish the best for their child, but sometimes they let their beliefs and bigotry cloud their eyes. Sometimes parents can be wrong. That does not mean that you shouldn't take their well-meaning advice, but the final decision should always be yours. And sometimes, the person who loves you the most could be the guy whose heart you broke a long time ago, who still remembers your birthday every year and sends you a card with a coupon to your favorite restaurant.